So as Travis and Adam were hunting moose, they also had bear tags in their pocket as well. Shortly after Travis shot his big bull, they couldn't help themselves with the amount of bears they were seeing, so they spent the day to pursue bears with the stick and string.
We just saw a pretty good brown bear over here, and it's an archery brown bear. It's got a prompting. It's really nice to have a rifle, because like pistols are great and stuff, but even the biggest pistol isn't compared to a rifle. So I really like this Rockman case. It's light. I keep it on the cub, so we've left the rifle in here. Moose aren't really considered dangerous game, but if it really hits the fan, and this bear, it looks like a pretty nice bear. It could be a 9-footer. This is a 338 rum, the 250 barns right into the chest. Should be pretty nice with the suppressor.
So it doesn't blow my eardrums out as the barrel comes over next to my head.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That's the 338 Spanish. Hope we don't need to use that.
All right, we're gonna head after this bear. We were just gonna clean our camp up and move. Adam took one last glass and spotted this nice grizzly over here. I've got 4 arrows left because I shot 2 at the moose yesterday, so it's only gonna take 1. And then it's gonna be pistols. Adam's got a rifle in the back for backup. So we're gonna try and sneak in close and put an arrow on this guy. Looks like a nice bear. We like to stalk animals where we know they're at. In this scenario, we watched the bear feed down in an alder patch and we lost sight of him. I think he laid down in the alders. We didn't see him leave the area. So we're 90% confident that he's in the alders over there. 10% confident he got away when we went into a draw. So our plan is we're up here downwind. We're going to work our way up this brush line on the right side of the ridge. And our guess is he's going to come back to the food that he left. There's a lot of blueberries on this ridge. He went over there to bed. We think he's going to peel back on this ridge. We want to be to where we can make a play really quickly and pretty close to him if he comes back out. So we're about 100 yards from where we think he's laying right now. We'll see what happens. We'll get the camera set up and get up a little closer. Well, our camp's on that ridge. We hiked 2 miles over here. We're set up about anywhere from 100 yards of where we think that this bear bedded, right here in this alder patch waiting. And now a nice boar just walked out over there by camp. At least we have options. We're watching that one. Unfortunately, both those bears are on Skyline. Let me show you though. It's a nice one. Think of the size of that one.
That's a good bear.
We hiked all the way over here 2 miles, and then we looked by camp, and there's a bigger bear over there.
I know, I was just telling Trav that he was just sitting here. It's like, man, I'm just looking for a sign from God. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to think? And then like 15, 20 seconds later, I'm just looking around because I'm bored, and there's a big fat bear over there. He's got a fat head. We're gonna trust the spirit. We're gonna bail on this bear we just spent 2.5 hours getting within 100 yards of. We're gonna go shoot that bear. I mean, I'm game. It's a really nice hide. He's got a fat head. You see the size of his head?
Yeah, it is bad. That was a good adrenaline. That's about as close as you could get to not archery in one. I mean, there's nowhere to hide behind. We're right out in the wide open. And unfortunately, he's kind of going over a ridge, so we were like, I'm sure skyline, but his butt is so wide. When he was feeding away from us, we couldn't see his head, so we would just dogged him for like a half a mile like that. And right when there was a little bush I had picked out, and we only needed to go like 20 more yards to that bush. And I was like, if I can get to that bush, I can kill him. And he just happened to turn and eat berries and look our way, and we had to freeze. I think we were skylined. And he just turned and ran a little bit, ran up in the alders here and bedded down. So we're going to keep watching and see what he does. But he bedded down. We think he bedded down somewhere we can't see him.
Never smelled us.
But I think we got to 83 yards. He's a big brown bear. And I can make an 80-yard shot. I'm confident with it. But he had us pinned, so I couldn't just draw back. I was hoping he's going to go back to feeding because he already did that once. It's just how archery hunting goes. Getting ready for the day.
So shortly after that bear stalk, Travis and Adam got back into hunting moose. After Adam shot his giant bull, they turned their focus back into bear hunting.
Well, last night, after Adam got done flying the moose out, I flew over to my moose carcass, and there's a nice bear laying on it. Super aggressive. It actually came barreling out of the cottonwood patch and charged at the airplane as it just flew by. So we kind of made a group decision. It's not safe to go in there with a bow. This thing's really possessive over it. It's my last day to hunt. I am taking the bow in case we see a bear in the berries that we can do a spot and stalk on our way there, but taking the rifle. I've always kind of had a dream of shooting a bear off of a gut pile of an animal I shot, so this could be pretty cool. I'm excited to see what the day's gonna bring. Taking out the 338 Ultra. I haven't shot this gun before. I'm gonna make sure that I get familiar with it before we get in there. Just like it should be. It's loaded and ready to go. Let's go. I'm just gonna pop one off just to see how it does. All right, we're good. Let's go. A lot of people don't walk around with one in the chamber, and if you're not confident with your gun, then I'd recommend not doing that. But I've been charged by a bear before. You don't have time to rack one in. So if I'm in bear country, I've got one in the pipe. And I point the gun in a safe direction at all times as I'm carrying it. Safety's on. The other thing, it's in my hand. It's not in my backpack. Because if a bear comes up over this rise right now, which is what happened to me at 20 yards at a dead run, all you have time to do is that and shoot. You don't have time to be jacking around getting it out of your backpack. Especially when we're going in on a brown bear. The sucker's ready to go.
How's it look?
Well, we can go down below, and we have good wind in our favor, but marginal shooting by looking at the aerial on Onyx. Or we can go around there, and we're looking right down on it at 300 yards. We're just going to wait here a minute and see what the wind's doing. I mean, we better play it smart. Bears cannot win you. If they win you, they're gone. If we get it consistent coming this way, I'm good with it. If it starts swirling and going this way, it might wrap in that base and he wins us. But there is a ridge, it looks like, right here that we can go down. Get below them and shoot up about the same, 300 yards. We're lower elevation, so we're not going to have as good visibility over the alders or over the willows. Just check it here for a minute. All right, we made a decision. We're going to go around where we have visual. Looking at the maps, it looks like by the time we get down there, we've already been down that ridge and we could hardly see the moose's back. Bear's obviously a lot shorter than the moose. We don't think we're going to be able to see him. We're going to go down the backside of this ridge and wait for good consistent wind. And we're going to pop up over where we can see the carcass at about 300 yards. And we're going to be ready. If we see the bear and he starts lifting his nose up doing this number, we're going to have to make it happen quick because they don't wait long once they get a smell of you. But we think that the way that the wind's going, we're hoping, because this kind of fish hooks around like this, and the bear's going to be down here, and the wind's going like this. We just don't want this number happening. But our hope is the wind is coming down the canyon as well. It's going to carry all the scent down because we have a pretty solid 5-mile-an-hour wind. Let's give it a try. It just might be a quick shot if he's there.
So as Travis and Adam were cresting over the ridge, the bear came into view. They immediately sank low and eased into position, ready in a shot before the bear sensed their presence.
Just dial to 200. Nice, dude. Give him another. Nice. Stay on him. One more. Stay on him. Nice, dude. Give him another. Nice. Stay on him. One more. Stay on him. What just happened?
We just got ourselves a nice bear. The thing looks bigger than I thought. That's a nice bear.
Dude, that barn's hammered him.
Hammered him.
Dude.
I shoulder pounded him on purpose.
Just sacked him.
Gave him 3 more. He didn't take a step. Yeah, that was cool.
One.
That was cool to hear it soak it up. Did you hear the hit?
Oh, yeah.
Thwomp.
Great video. Dude.
Soaked it up. 200 yards, came over this ridge. I've been wanting to get one with a bow. Got 83 yards from a big bear, comparable sized bear, with a bow, and I'm comfortable shooting 80 with my bow, but it was really windy. Just didn't take the shot. I was trying to get to 60 and he busted. This is the last day I'm here to hunt. And when Adam flew the meat out last night, he saw this bear came charging out of that patch as he just went by in the airplane. Adam's like, I've never seen a bear that aggressive. We are not taking a bow in there. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. So I brought the rifle today, got the high side, got the wind in our favor, pumped 3 into him at 200 yards. He's laying right on the moose carcass. That's kind of a dream of mine. I've always wanted to shoot a bear off of a carcass. There needs to be some predator control in the space, and we've had days where we saw 15 bears. There's a lot of bears in here.
Nice, dude. Give him another. One more.
Yeah, I definitely don't get as excited as I used to when I was a kid and could hardly hold it together. But I can hold it together when a big animal steps in front of me. But man, I almost had more of an adrenaline with this bear. I think just because it's dangerous and this thing was so possessive over the kill.
He saw us.
And he saw us than I was with the moose the other day at 12 yards with a bow. I know that's bad to say, but my heart was going. No, it was probably equal. It was just really exciting. It was cool, man. Great bear. Adam had a good point. We're going to keep our heads on a swivel in case there's more bears in here. You never know. That roly-poly thing. Look at that. That is amazing what he did to that carcass. This might be old blonde ears that we stalked with a bow. He's a big bear, dude. Wow, huge head. Huge head. What a beautiful bear. He's got the white mark going down his claws. My gosh. This is crazy. This might be the blonde tipped ear bear we've been after. I think we stalked this bear with a bow. Got to 83 yards in the wind. Oh, that's amazing how far this bear, I mean, there's a 30-yard circle here where he dug up tundra, broke off willows, and buried this carcass. There was hardly any meat left. You have to take all edible meat in Alaska, and a delicacy for Adam and Tana and the family are moose ribs. So we took a saw and we took the whole rack of ribs off. So the only thing that was left was the spine, the guts, and the legs from the elbow down. And this bear did a lot of work burying this kill. When we first got here, we were seeing, one day we saw 15 bears up in the blueberry patches, berries everywhere, but it frosted really hard and those berries are falling off. We started to see bears cruise. It became really hard to try an archery stalk when bears are just cruising. And I was shocked that it took 7 days for this bear to find the gut pile. Oh, look at those claws. I love that when they got the white stripe going down them. Yeah, it's such a cool animal. This started with an archery moose hunt, and Adam and I have been planning this hunt for a long time, and he said, well, you better grab a bear tag, a bear locking tag, because there's usually a lot of bears in the area. I've always wanted to get one with a bow. So we primarily have been hunting moose. This has been a phenomenal trip. I shot a 71-inch bull moose at 12 yards with a bow. A couple days later, called in a giant moose for Adam with these big old gnarly fronts, really dark horn, pretty bull. He shot that at 21 yards. So we've just been after moose, and then if a bear presented itself, we would take that opportunity. We think we actually stalked this bear with a bow, I don't know, what, 7 days ago? And it was right out in the open, and we got to 83 yards. I was trying to get to 60. Wind was really howling, so I didn't feel comfortable taking a shot that far, and it was right out in the open. He turned and saw us and busted us, but we stalked him for like a half a mile in the wide open because his butt is so big. As long as he was feeding away from us, he couldn't see us with his head, and we were literally jogging after him as he was walking across the flat. It was an exhilarating stalk. This is the last day that I'm in here and I can hunt. So Adam flew out the last load of moose yesterday, came back with the airplane and saw this bear on the kill. And this bear actually came barreling out of the brush at the airplane just as he made a pass flying back to camp, and was super aggressive. And Adam's like, we are not going in on that with a bow. He is too possessive, too aggressive. We can't get in. You'd have to sneak in here to 10 yards to shoot, and it's not a smart idea. So we looked at the aerial maps on our Onyx program, and we're able to find this route where we came around, got the wind in our favor, where we'd have kind of a bird's eye view. Snuck over the ridge this morning at 200 yards, and he was laying on top of this dead moose. It's kind of been a dream of mine. I see pictures like this in the past, and I thought, man, that'd be so cool to harvest a moose and then harvest a bear off of the moose, or off of whatever you get. And it just happens to be a giant boar. This is a really, really beautiful bear. He's got white tip ears, giant head, big white tip claws. Just what a cool experience. Shot it with the Gunwerks 338 Ultra. I'll let Adams kind of tell the specifics. This is his gun because all I brought was my bow on this trip. What you got here, Adam?
Gunwerks 338 rum. I'm pretty solid on the 338. I don't like anything smaller. This bear soaked up 3 rounds. Shooting the Barnes 250 LRX. I switched to that one. It's an all copper bullet, and for a bear like this with brush all the way around, we did not want to be tracking. We each have a handgun, but we didn't want it to go anywhere. So Trav's first shot was right in the shoulder, and I think only one of the 3 shots exited, so he just dumped all the energy into the bear. super awesome 20-inch barrel on the 338 from Gunwerks. This is a Banish 338 can. We always shoot suppressed. I started shooting their cans, and just a game changer. You don't blow everything out. There's a moose right down here. I have a buddy that's still got a moose tag, and so we didn't blow up the whole canyon with the muzzle brake like we used to, and we can still hear fine. Our ears aren't ringing, and this is just like a cherry on top. We both shot Boone and Crockett moose with our bows on video, top pin shots, and to get a bear like this is a really, really big bear, and this is exactly how he was.
This is how he was.
Exactly how he was, laying on this, huffing and puffing, and like, it was kind of scary, even being 200 yards away. Look at that noggin.
Man, this thing's, it's humongous. And the pad is just what a cool animal. And I will say, you know, I know bears are kind of a soft spot for people sometimes, but there is some serious predator. There needs to be some serious predator management in here. We have been seeing pretty close to equal number of bears than we have bull moose. So one day we saw 15 bears in a single day. There's bears almost on every berry patch that you look at, and bears are really, really hard on moose calves. So before I came out of here, I took a moose out of this area. I always kind of like to take equal predators if you can out of an area, and I know Adam feels the same way. He's big on predator control. So hopefully we save some moose calves by getting this guy out of the Adam's moose spot here.
No shortage of bears.
No shortage of bears. Thanks, bro. Yeah, as usual.
Tagged out, baby.
Tagged out.
Okay, so I just flew the last half of my moose out yesterday, and when I was leaving the house, Tana came out to the airplane, was running, handed me this book and said, hey, if you get any cool opportunities, check my book out in the field and get me some cool reviews for you and Travis. And grabbed the book and put it in the airplane, and I came back to camp and I flew over the drainage. This is right where Travis had killed his moose. This bear was in the brush, came barreling out, super aggressive. I was really high in the airplane, and I told Travis, and he's like, well, that's always been like a dream come true. I've seen the pictures of bears in a big debris mound. They dig up all this dirt and cover the moose carcass, and we snuck in here and shot it. And I've never even looked in this book. It's a Stuck in the Rut version of Chasing Alaska, children's book that my wife writes. But I just flipped to this one page. It's got yellow brush, just like behind us. And it says, we patiently wait for the grizzly bear. The wind's in my favor on top of his lair. My senses are sharp. I'm sniffing the air. The brush starts to rustle. I freeze and I stare. And these books are written off real life experiences. And this experience is going to generate more children's books to come. So be looking for this one soon. Chasing Alaska, the Stuck in the Rut edition by Tana Grenda. This is offside shoulder. Ended up in the leg. Oh. Look at that. Couldn't ask for better bullet performance.
That's a nice looking bullet.
Look at that.
Ready?
Oh, jeez.
That's a big load right there. 10,000 cubic inch Barney's pack. It's completely full, sticking out of the top. Heavier than a rear moose quarter. Adam says he's gonna get me back filming me like a flopping turtle instead of helping me get up like I did him the other day.
Use that six pack.
Come on!
Use that six pack.
I think it's the heaviest pack. It's heavier than a rear moose.
Dismount.
I've been hunting up here in Alaska for 10 days. I tried out the Peaks 4-person tent for the first time. And as you know, in Alaska, you get to experience all different types of weather. We've had below freezing, we've had blowing 30 miles an hour, and last night we had a downpour of rain, probably put down a half inch. And I have been drying this tent. I've been very impressed with the material because it is lighter weight, and I was kind of worried about it sweating. But I've got the vents open on top. I honestly haven't had any sweating issues. All my gear in here is dry. After all that rain last night, I brought the full nest with me this time because bugs are super bad in Alaska, and I wouldn't want to be sleeping without a nest. This is a really cool concept up here where you got your trekking poles that push out, and the nest right here sucks down around the poles so that the bugs can't get in, but you can dry your socks out from yesterday, kind of little drying poles. And without the nest, I will say this is a comfortable 4-man tent. With the nest, you lose a little bit of space right here, and it's nice for this application because I can put my backpack right here, and if somebody were over there, they could put their backpack here. So the honest truth is, with the nest, a man of my size, I guess, 6'4", 200 pounds, it's a comfortable 2-man tent, putting your backpacks on the outside. If we didn't have the nest, I wasn't worried about bugs. You can easily get 4 people here sideways. Well, what a lot of people don't see is the after hours out here making the steaks. Loose tenderloin, loose back scraps. This is the last one of the steaks that I'm gonna take home. Till we meet again, bro.
Love you, bro.
Love you. Take care of my sister and the kids.
See you in Hawaii.
Safe flying. See you in Hawaii. Successful trip. 2 moose and a bear. Can't get any better than that.
For all families who would rather be outside, meet our new hunting children's books. Our Stuck in the Rut series brings the love of hunting, family, and the great outdoors to Storytime. Available now at wileybuhabooks.com or Amazon.